Are you having problems in the bedroom? Are you having problems with your sex life? Well, I know just who to talk to, and that's Lori. CoachingByLori.com is where you could set up voice, video, or text sessions to talk about sex, to talk about intimacy, kinks, fetishes, taboos, fantasies, or your sexuality. You could talk about coming out and what to expect when you come out. Lori is a sex therapist and talks about your sexual health. Lori's offering all new clients 20% off their first session with the coupon code WELCOME. That's coaching by Lori, LORIE.com. Coupon code WELCOME, WELCOME, for 20% off your first session. Ladies and gentlemen, Suds Social Media is an official affiliate of the WWE Shop. Whether you want merchandise from the original Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, or the Hall of Famers, the New World Order, or from WrestleMania itself, scan the QR code on the screen or go to suds-media.com/wrestling merch, and it gives us a commission to help our show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dockside at the Bay, season number 2, episode number 13. My name is Vinnie. This is Kim. We are here. We are here back with you for another jam-packed episode of the Emmy Award-winning web series, The Bay.
And was it this episode? My goodness, we were just saying how it felt a little bit longer, but not to a point where it was just like, when's this going to be over? It was just there was so much packed into it, and so many different storylines all converging all at once.
Yeah,
So it definitely just it felt like just a little bit more dense than usual. Maybe that's the right word for it, but either way,
yeah,
terrific episode.
it was. And this is actually a continuation of last week's episode, which was
Hmm.
International Players, part 1. This is now part 2. But before we get into the Bay, let's go ahead and get out of the way some of our church notes. As always, we do want to recognize the other soaps. And last night on Suds News, we did put the in memoriam card up for Leslie Charleston. As everybody knows, played Monica Quartermain on General Hospital. Passed away on Sunday at the age of 79, I believe. Um, and she had a long illness. She hadn't been seen since December 2023. So I assume that within the next, I'd say 6 months, they're going to have a memorial service and kill off the character of Monica Quartermain. But it was so eerie on yesterday's episode of General Hospital that we find out that Leslie Charleston passed away Sunday night. They're actually talking about Monica on
Oh
Monday's
no,
episode. So it was just that eerie, sweet feeling.
yeah.
So I mean, it was cathartic. It was you know, it was definitely a shock to us. But you know, life goes on and the show goes on, and you know, we also want to go ahead and give our prayers, condolences, and just our thoughts to all the people in LA that are battling the fires and have lost everything. As has been documented, you know, Cameron Matheson from General Hospital lost everything. His house is, burned down due to the wildfires, which, as far as I know, are still going on. I haven't heard much about it. Um,
There's
but
been
just,
containment with some containment, but nothing. It feels like it's just kind of ongoing in certain areas and just
yeah,
absolutely devastating. So keep seeing,
exactly.
different fundraisers, different causes, different, links. But I don't know. Through my work, they were going through American Red Cross. I know
Yeah.
for donations. So,
That's just
but
it. If you want to donate to help, I recommend the American Red Cross. They are reputable and they are out there. Also, some of the local animal shelters in the area need help as well. So do your research. There are a lot of
yeah.
scams out there. There was somebody utilizing Cameron Matheson's picture and information to start a GoFundMe to scam people out of it.
Oh
So
my God.
and he came out and said it's not him. Just do your research. There are just idiots out there trying to steal money, and they'll piggyback off anything to try to get that money. So, um, if you can help, I would say go with the American Red Cross, but do your research.
Hmm.
Um, Also, Take Me Down to Studio City is going to return in a little while. It's not going to be coming back on yet. Angela and I are looking to get some guest interviews up before we get into season 2. So that's kind of still on hiatus. Next week, we are going to do a new episode of Angela Answers Fan Mail. So get ready for that. That's going to be a doozy. And for those of you who watch this show but not Suds News, I do have to go ahead and put out an apology myself. Just speaking of the wildfires, I did go ahead and put up a meme last week that was in poor taste. It was a joke. It was in jest, but it was in poor taste. Um, just basically saying because the LA fans booed Hulk Hogan at Monday Night Raw last week, the next day the wildfire started. It was a joke, but it was in poor taste at this time. I do have friends that, and people I care about that live in the LA area that are just being devastated. The danger is real. So, again, I do apologize for putting that out there as a poor taste at this time. But, anyways, you guys are here to listen to us break down the episode of The Bay, which was season number 4, episode 8. Like I said, called International Players Part 2. And it started out with seeing Pete and Daniel in Belgium.
Yep.
And the dialogue in that scene, like, Pete's all business, and Daniel's just like, "Ooh, this is awesome."
Can we
He's
just
like,
put these two in a buddy comedy? Like, do their own spin-off series? Like, the chemistry between the two of them was just off the charts, just really good in this episode. You get that cousin, well, they're cousins technically, but the sibling sort of back and forth, just, the banter between them and just the bro-y sort of just everything about it. Like, their scenes were great, honestly.
Yeah.
And, no, I would watch a whole, just little spin-off dedicated to the two of them.
Oh yeah, no, that would have been great, even if just a short mini series,
Yep.
something like a Beyond Salem, But
yes, exactly. Beyond the Bay.
Yeah, Beyond the Bay. There you go. Well, I mean, they kind of did that in the Bay, the beginning, where they had Pete in New York for a couple of different episodes.
Yeah, so throw Daniel in the mix and have them just go off on more European adventures together. Adventures, though, there's serious shit going on, as Pete says. But because even while they're like walking the streets of Belgium, trying to find Sarah, find John Blackwell, get through all this, Daniel's still in that sort of casual, lighthearted sort of it's like we're spies, taking down lethal criminals and all of this, and Pete has to remind him, like, I didn't even invite you. Like, you need to chill. And then, but then he starts, it's funny when Daniel starts kind of getting nervous about John Blackwell. Like, I heard he's got like a black belt. He's killed someone before.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just absolutely hilarious how they go back and forth, of course. And how Daniel reminds him, yeah, I'm here because I'm a good cousin to you and I'm trying to help you out.
yeah.
And I didn't want you to do it on your own.
He does need the reinforcements. He does need, it's important, especially, you're going to a foreign country. You're potentially dealing with someone who potentially, exactly. Like, it's good that, you have backup in a case like this. And even if Daniel is joking around and stuff like that, he's got your back.
Exactly.
So, yeah, but those were such, and then, we also have, it's just so seamless the way they jump from, Daniel, the buddy comedy going on to, we have Tamara and we have Evan, who are also walking around Belgium, and they also show like some nice shots of John Blackwell just like walking by himself, like Lone Ranger, all like, strutting around Belgium doing his thing. But yeah, like we get a little bit of like an action adventure sort of vibe with the two of them when they start realizing that Lambert's kind of like right near them. They're trying to dodge him and all of this stuff. And Evan still wants to know what the secret, the big deep dark secret that Tamara's got. So there's all this intrigue going on, and then there's like a little bit of sexual tension when the two of them kiss, and it's just like you get like the best of like two sort of like European sort of fun adventure. It's like two storylines that are kind of taking place at the same time.
Oh yeah,
but in different flavors.
My thing is like, cool. Did Lambert know what Tamara looked like? Did Jensen send him pictures? Because
he must
I didn't think he knew.
Yeah, because I don't think he knew that someone was gonna like. He must
Right,
have,
someone was gonna
covered
come.
his face in that sense. Yeah, yeah. But I don't think he like had like a other than like a photo or something like that. I don't think he knew officially who was bringing him. He knew
Right.
obviously someone was, but I don't think he knew it was her specifically. But even so, it's like, yeah, dodge that guy, run away from
Yeah.
that guy, hide behind a pillar, and then kiss.
Well,
'Cause-
clearly Tamara knew who he was.
yeah, yeah.
So I mean, I'm assuming Jensen did his due diligence and sent
One
pictures
would
of each.
think. One would
Um,
think.
but either way, they do get out of it by Evan pushing her up against the wall and giving her a kiss, and there's just
Yeah.
that tension between them.
Yeah. Yeah. But then we, kind of cut back to Daniel and Pete trying to, get into the because they see, John Blackwell just walk in,
Right.
and then they just like immediately get, called at the desk to just, basically are told like, no, you can't. No, he's not here. What are you talking about? And they're just trying to like put up this whole smoke screen because
Yep.
we recognize that one clerk from before
Yep.
who, John Blackwell had said like, don't let anyone know that I'm here.
Right.
But take charge. Pete was in like full on take charge mode there.
Oh yeah.
Just like
But it's
you
like
love to see it.
coming from somebody who used to work in the hotel industry, I applaud them for putting it in there because first of all, you're not supposed to give out the room number for anybody in a hotel. It's privacy,
Right. Right.
However, there is a rule that if you can say that if you can point out the last name of the person who booked the room, then you that proves that you know the person. But at the same time, Blackwell asked for privacy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
again, it's like I can see both sides, but either way, the guy did it the right way.
Properly handled.
Yes,
No suspension. You didn't have to suspend disbelief in that case,
exactly.
which is
Yeah.
nice. For a soap opera. Considering.
Oh, you're not kidding. There's been so much suspension of disbelief on GH right now. Yeah. No, you're
It's a
right.
refreshing change.
It is a very refreshing change.
Yeah.
But I do like how the two confer, and the guy's like, I'm sorry, there's nobody here by that name. And Pete's just like, we just saw him walk in. You're going to give me his room number and whatever. And Daniel's kind of trying to diffuse the tension and be like, oh,
Yeah.
let's just
I
get
love
out
how he's
now.
all like, "We'll figure out another way." It's like, why would
Yeah.
you say that? Like,
Right.
clearly these guys don't want you. It'd be just like, the smart thing would just be like, "We're sorry, we're leaving right now," instead, "Oh, we'll find another way." It's like,
Yeah.
no, shouldn't have said that.
That
But I mean,
again, yeah. I can tell
but
you one time I was working overnight at the hotel that I used to work at,
mm,
and this girl came in, and apparently her boyfriend or whatever was cheating on her with another girl
uh-oh.
in the hotel. She tracked him down, however, whatever.
Oh dear.
And I'm working at the front desk, and she's like, "Well, my fiance is here. This is his name. Blah 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 blah." And I'm sorry. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't give you the room number. I just
Yeah.
can't. She was so determined. She ended up she left out the front door, must have gone around to the side door, and somebody was outside smoking and left the door propped open. So she went in the side door, went upstairs, and started knocking on like every door. And this is like one
Oh
o'clock
my
in the morning.
God. Are you
So
serious?
yeah, so I saw her on the camera. I went upstairs. I escorted her downstairs. I said, "Listen, next time you come in, I'm gonna have to call the cops."
Oh my God. That's
The
wow.
boyfriend comes down, and then the girl comes down, and I had a cat fight right in the middle of the. I'm sorry, that may not be the PC term, but I had two girls going at it
Oh,
right in the
jeez.
lobby. I had to call the cops eventually, and it felt like a Jerry Springer show.
Unbelievable. Oh my God.
Down to the one girl ripping out the other girl's hair. I mean, it was
No.
an extension, but yeah,
Oh my
her hair came
God.
right off. Yeah,
Oh my God. That's that's insane. Okay.
but yeah,
That takes the cake as far as, crazy. I mean heck, Daniel and Pete's scheme is pretty, pretty good, like the
yeah.
way that they do manage. It's pretty impressive. But at
Because
least it doesn't
Daniel acts
involve
as
them.
he's
Yeah.
drunk. I think they waited for change of shifts, so they waited until a new front desk
Yeah.
person was there. They
And they
went in.
walk in all disguised with the sunglasses, and Daniel singing sunglasses at night, which cracked me up.
Yeah. And
It's
they
like
get
little things like
into
that. I
a.
love that humor.
Oh yeah, no, the the subtle humor and the subtle, um, just breaking the tension with humor from the character of Daniel.
Yeah.
We said originally he was like comic relief, but now it's like he just adds that extra layer of
Yeah.
well timed humor.
Yes. And it's like there's nothing that like you gotta love like little like detective hijinks sort of like little storylines and stuff like that. And they played this one so perfect. I thought it's just like the whole we're gonna scheme our way into the room, however and the faking being drunk and speaking with the housekeeper with the maid
Yeah.
in the hall and having her just kind of it was just such like a well executed little scheme there
Oh
from the
yeah,
guys.
it really was. Um, so he acts as he's drunk. They get into a room where there's a housekeeper who never seen them before,
Hmm.
and the way they did this, I'm sorry, was absolutely perfect because Daniel's like, oh, obviously he's acting like he's drunk, and he's like, I'm just gonna lay down right here, and he lays right in the middle of the hallway. The girl is restocking her car, which they must have late night uh, housekeepers at that hotel. So she um here's the thing where I did have to suspend a little disbelief in that um because all Pete said was, I'm John Blackwell, I'm in this room, and
Yeah.
she's like, and he's like, as you can see, my colleague is a little inebriated, and I have to get him into the room. Could you help out? I have to dig through my stuff to get the key, and I have to hold him up at the same time. You know, so in that case, you know, in the housekeeper's shoes, she would have thought, okay, well, he made it past the front desk, so he must have had the key, or he must be the real person. But honestly, they're supposed to check the ID,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. I feel
especially
like
for
that would have probably been warranted, but
yeah. But
they had to get in the room and they had to
exactly.
get in there somehow. And up until like, they played it pretty, pretty true to, the way it would shake out
Oh
aside
yeah,
from so no, it was just a really, kind of clever ruse for them to, get in to do what they needed to do, which was, sneak into John Blackwell. I love though how they get behind the door. They finally get inside, and then they're like, Daniel's just laughing and cracking up. It's like, no, you're supposed to be like making noises like you're throwing up or like you're violently ill or something
right.
like that. Like,
Yep.
keep with the ruse, keep it going. But now they end up just startling. Well, not even really startling. Even though John Blackwell's remarkably calm. I'm sorry because it's just like
Yeah.
if I opened my eyes and saw someone holding a gun to my head, I don't think I'd just kind of stare calmly up and just be
There's a
like,
little bit of panic there that
a
would set in.
little bit, a little bit, like some, a little flashed in his eyes, but overall, it's just like, like he's just like, bravo, kid, put it down. Like, he's just very like, I would, kudos to reacting like that in that situation because. Even Daniel is kind of skeptical though when he sees like Pete walking over towards like the gun or whatever, but he's just like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, so I'm just gonna like stand here, I guess, and watch this all play out.
Right.
But
Um.
honestly though, like I thought for some reason I thought that the episode was gonna end with him like, holding the gun on him. And then it kept
Yeah.
going.
Oh yeah.
I think that's what threw it's like the additional kind of tack on of that because that seemed like such a cliffhanger,
Oh
like
yeah.
him just like with the, and then I was just like, oh no, wait, there's more, and I was happy
Yeah.
there was more, but
Oh yeah.
it felt like that was going to be the episode or the closing point of the episode, him finally getting into the room, but
Well, we got somewhat of a blow off in that in that story because um John finally calms them down and says, I don't have your mother. I'm here to fix the mistake of having your mother arrested. And John explains everything. And then Tamara and
mhm,
Evan come in. And then they're just sitting there and they're kind of strategizing and going over everything. I
right,
liked how John gave Pete the deeds that, or the deeds to the real estate or whatever in Europe that, was supposed to go to, the other guy. And, Pete's looking through all of it and just saying, oh my gosh, all this stuff, and just looking at it all. And, go on.
Yeah. No, I mean, it did kind of, I mean, they launch into the whole just explanation, for them, which obviously, because Pete has an obvious reason to be very, very
Yeah.
skeptical of the man who, you know, just was the reason why Sarah was in jail, and then also the prosecutor, the guy that put her there, like very,
Yep.
good reason to just be, but it does like, oh, I set up a place in London for all of this, and now my job is done, and all of this.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's
But
like, I gave it to the rightful owners. Now just go put it in a safe spot. I
yeah,
got you a
but his,
lockbox, and take it or leave
but
it.
his, yeah, but his reasoning, his going in to just say like, I know what I was railroading the wrong person because of my vendetta against my dad, and I want to make up for that. It's like kudos to you, John
Yeah.
Michael.
I
You
mean,
know,
he's a straight shooter, and it's, no pun intended, but he's a straightforward guy,
yeah,
and he takes accountability for what he did. He's like, listen,
absolutely,
she didn't do it. Here's how it really went down, and
yeah.
you know,
And plus, he's just also motivated by like, he hates Jensen and wants to just see
yes,
Jensen, pay and suffer,
because
and
Jensen
because
set him
don't we
up.
all? Yeah, exactly. So, it all just, but it dovetails nicely into that whole, thing. We still have it kind of where, the only thing that isn't really tied up in a neat little bow with that piece, at least, is Tamara with
Yeah,
her, being blackmailed and everything. Cause she still isn't telling anyone, like, exactly, like, or we still had what's his name asking
yeah.
exactly, like, what does he have over you? What does Jensen have over you?
I
And so
think
that's
she's too
still,
ashamed to say it's some kind of a sex tape or something.
yeah, but she's just that's the one piece that's still kind of hanging out there a little bit is his, what he's got against her. But
Right.
as far as everything else has been kind of neutralized. So,
I mean, hell, at this point, a sex tape might make her into a celebrity. It might help her modeling career. I mean, it
right?
did for Kim Kardashian and,
Yeah, you
Paris
just take,
Hilton.
follow that playbook. Come on, Tam,
Exactly.
what are you doing?
But
But but yeah, no, it was it's satisfying to just kind of see though, like that kind of, all the heroes kind of teaming up together. It's like,
yeah,
Avengers assemble almost. It's like they're all united now. They're all on the same page to,
exactly.
undo what Steve is doing, because what Steve is doing,
Oh yeah.
let's, just because we've got the whole, Adam, Sarah storyline that's playing out opposite
Yep.
this. And, we didn't get, there's like, it wasn't as dominant of a story in this episode as all the stuff
Right.
in Belgium, but it was still there, obviously.
Well,
And we don't,
because it all does play together,
it
because
all, yeah,
it all revolves around Jensen. And let me tell you something. When because last we knew Sarah escaped the cabin. She got out a window, and she was able to get out. So we
yep.
see
And then they
Adam
just,
search. What?
yeah. Oh, no, I was just going to say, like, we see her, like, just kind of hiding. It's like they're playing hide and go seek in the woods. She
Yeah.
just kind of, tucked herself behind a tree. And you got Adam just kind of skulking around, mother.
Right.
But, he does kind of, because we had been talking about last week how, his character is kind of like, we're not really sure about him. He's kind of, lost some of like his lair,
Yep.
and now he's just kind of this creepy dude that's obsessed with like his mom. But at least in this, he does show a little bit of protectiveness towards Sarah, like
Right.
we do get that when push comes to shove, and like he calls Steve, which
Right.
maybe it shouldn't. I mean, I know that you guys are working together, but like
And
that's just,
but I have to question Sarah's motives here. First of all, you get out of the cabin. Why aren't you trying to find your way back to a highway or a
I
roadway?
know you run like hell, girl. Like, come
Right.
on, like,
And wasn't
don't
there a
just hide
phone in
behind a.
the house? Wasn't there like a cell phone in the house or something?
Didn't didn't they say something about it not being able to make outgoing calls?
But
I think
911 is still always there. Like,
okay, all right. Technically, yeah.
yeah. Um, but I still have to question it, because first of all, there's a couple of holes that I'm going to poke in this story. And Gregory Martin, I'm sorry, but I have to put this out there. First off, how did Adam get there? Did Adam drive and park? So there would have been a car there already, if
Yeah.
because Adam would have needed to get there. Secondly, so we see Steve come with his two goons. Steve's hiding in the back seat so that nobody sees him in the car.
Yep.
And they get out, and Steve and his goons get in the car. Sara runs towards the truck. Okay, SUV. She gets in. She sees the key. She gets in. Steve is inside. He hears the motor turn. What the hell is she doing in the car that she didn't just put in reverse and get the hell out of there? Like,
I mean, yeah,
I
I get it. They had to keep her there at the creepy cabin because what they want to do, but they could have made it at least a little bit more like she gets
like,
far, she gets to drive away, but then gets stuck or something
or
like that,
they take out their guns and shoot the tires. Like
Yeah, something to just kind
something
of
to
keep
that
everything.
effect. But the fact that she started the car, what was she, putting on her seatbelt, putting her purse in the back seat? That's what it looked like. Like,
Yeah, it's a
or
little,
lock the
yeah.
freaking doors.
To be fair, she's a little frazzled right
I
now,
get that, but it's still like I'm trying to escape. I'm gonna be as quiet as possible. I'm get in the car, lock the doors first, then start and go in reverse. It takes 30 seconds if you can really try.
Yeah. And it's like one of those things too. It's like, okay, maybe like, she was still trying to figure out what Adam was up like, he's still my son, but at the same time it's like, no, he's still holding you hostage.
You
You
can
still have the
figure all
means of
that out when you
escape.
get back to town.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, but no, instead though we get it where, they grab those freaking goons, just grab
Yeah.
hold of her and grab hold of Adam. And
Yep.
that's when we see Adam probably at his most likable since, he's
Yes.
really come up, let's, just defending Sara and saying not to hurt her, because even he has to draw a line somewhere. It's like,
Right.
yeah, I can abduct
Because
you,
he
but
wasn't
no,
trying to
nobody's allowed to
hurt
hurt.
her. He was just
No, he
trying to
wasn't.
kind of get to know her and follow Steve's orders for whatever
Right.
reason.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of, but at least, we see that side come out. And then, but we realize quickly that he paid for his saying that
Yep.
when we look, they cut to him and Sara in what looks like a
The
basement
basement.
or a
Yeah.
shed or something. And, Sara looks like she's gotten a little bit like worked over. She's got like, like, it looks like,
Yeah.
some bruises and stuff on her face and everything like that. But it's nothing compared to what clearly Adam was, beaten to a bloody
Yeah.
pulp.
Oh yeah. And it's like you kind of see the look in Sarah's eyes when she sees Adam all beat up, and it's like a motherly type of look,
Hmm.
and and also kind of. I mean, she knows the lengths that Steve will go to get what he wants, but it's almost like, well, shit. If you're gonna do this to somebody who's on your side, what are
Right.
you gonna attempt to do now?
Yeah, exactly. And he was asking her previously about like, the pendant and all of
Yeah.
that. And that comes into play later as well, but just there's so much, and but when they cut to his face, when they show Adam's face, I forgot how they makeup job on that. Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
Cuz he looks very, very much beaten up.
Oh yeah. He was worked over like crazy.
Yeah.
Um, but we go back to now let's kind of get back into Bay City, and we finally see Lianna after a few weeks.
Right.
She's having a meal with Damien,
Yeah.
and it was a nice talk, and I'm glad they're kind of maintaining that friendship.
Me too. Me too. It was kind of like a nice little break in the action a little bit,
Yeah.
because you have everything going on with Sara and Adam, you have everything going on in Belgium, and then you have this just to kind of, do a little bit of a reset for us,
Yeah.
you know.
Kind of
But
remind us that story is still ongoing.
right,
Will is still in
exactly.
intensive care somewhere
Yeah,
else, and
yeah, yeah. No,
um,
I appreciate that their friendship is still kind of, and he's like still, and her kudos, blanking on her name, the actress who plays Lianna. I mean, her scenes weren't that long, but my goodness, just
is it
your
Jade
heart breaks
Harlow?
for her.
Who?
I believe so.
Hang on.
Believe so.
Um, let's see. The Bay, wait, Bay web series. Uh, hang on, I'll find it. Cast.
Yeah, but I thought did just I mean, she always does, but this scene in just particular, maybe because we
Jade
hadn't seen
Harlow.
her in a
Yeah.
while. Jade Harlow, yeah.
Yeah.
No, just terrific, terrific scenes from her. Because just talking about how, like, she, the emptiness that she's feeling and the mood swings, and them tying back into the whole therapy thing too. I really we talked before about how like well the show handles and has handled, like the mental health sort of aspect and reality of like being in therapy and things like, and they really dial it home in this kind of moment where she just says like everything just she's like feeling kind of ups and downs, and he reminds her like you've always had like mood swings and things. She
Yeah.
says like she feels balanced, but she's also like that like the therapist is part of a grand world order to keep her under. Like, oof, that was just
Not
like
the
a
New World Order,
devastating line.
folks. A Grand World Order.
Yeah, grand world, you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, I was
Yeah,
just pointing out because I'm wearing a New
yeah.
World Order hat, so
Oh
it's.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I just noticed that. Sorry, when the background, the blur background, it's hard for me
Oh,
to see your hat sometimes.
um, I then I liked kind of like when Avery came in. It wasn't something where Avery's like, Lianna, what are you doing with my boyfriend or whatever. It wasn't like a
Right. It
possessive
wasn't
type of
that
thing.
moment. Yeah.
She understood that Damien is her friend and she's going through a lot.
Mhm.
And then she says, I'm so sorry about your mom. And
Right.
Lianna kind of pushes it away, and she's like, just kind of moves past her. And then Colton Kurosaki comes in, and he's all gung ho
Uh,
saying, there's the cop killer.
and
And
for what it's worth, it's when Christopher Sean was playing Colton, like
uh,
it was nothing against Christopher Sean because he's a great actor and he could play like a slime ball if he wanted to, but I'm so glad that he isn't playing the slime ball version of Colton because I love him on days as
yeah,
as Paul, as Sweet
yeah,
Paul, and it would just be really difficult for me to see him just acting like a first class jerk,
right.
and like not to
This
say
guy
he
pulls
couldn't,
it
but
off a lot better,
yeah,
in my
yeah,
opinion.
because it would just be too tough for me to see him playing just such a because this guy is a piece of work, you know.
If you want to, if have you started watching Studio City yet?
Not yet. It's on my list.
Because Tristan Rogers in that show is so much different than Lex in this show and Robert Scorpio in GH.
Yeah.
Like Studio City actually got Tristan Rogers his first Emmy. That's how good he is.
Oh wow,
Yeah, he
wow.
has never won an Emmy outside of on Studio City.
I'm shocked by that. I would have
I
sworn
was
that,
too.
at one
Yeah,
point he would have. Wow, that's really cool.
yeah,
It's just so funny to see him like, in wildly different, and we see it obviously with the baby because it's just like, you've got all like these, but I don't know. It was just in this case in particular, it was just this guy is just, the recast has really brought out this side of Colton that's
yes,
just pure jerk.
yes,
So,
exactly.
and yeah, he just like, he's all, calling Lianna as Lianna's like sitting there, like, after bearing her soul and like saying that like she needs to leave and, she's worried. Oh, and her saying too that she was so worried because she wasn't on meds the night that she had shot Will, but if she had been, maybe, I mean, her whole, that thought trajectory. And then for her to just get called a cop killer, she's trying to leave the restaurant. It's just like, oh my God, like, you're piling it
Forgive
on
me
this poor woman.
if I'm not mistaken. Wasn't Liana like drunk that night that she shot Will?
Yeah, I
Because
thought so.
she was inebriated because she was like contemplating suicide because of Jensen
Yeah. I
getting in
think
her
that like
head.
she was looking at pills, but then ended up just
Right.
going for the wine or something. But yes,
Yeah.
there's definitely substances involved that night.
So I mean, she was theoretically over medicated.
Yeah.
But I understand that she wasn't in the right frame of mind.
Right. Right. But it was just, like just just the devastation, on
Yeah.
her face as like she's like, trying to leave and everything like that, and then Colton getting up in her face. But that, and I'm blanking on his name, but the nurse, the male nurse who kind of
Matt
comes in
was
with
is
Dave.
it Matt?
I
Matthew.
think so, Matthew. Yeah, I mean, even he's like, trying to like break up the whole situation and just, keep it from getting escalated. And even Colton's partner is just like, like you need to calm down, and he's like, well,
Yeah.
I'll calm down when she's in prison, you know.
Yeah.
But then for Mickey's sister, played by
Yeah.
oh goodness, what's her name? the actress who recently passed away, who plays Mickey's sister, the redhead.
Oh, I don't. She recently passed away. I did not know
I
that.
thought she did. I thought she did. No, not maybe like a year or so ago.
Hmm.
Didn't she play? She was on One Life to Live, wasn't she? Andrea Evans.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
but yeah, like her kind of parting shot at the very end of that scene when she basically just says that Lianna is a danger to society. It's like, whoa,
You're right. She
okay,
passed away in 2023. Yep.
yeah, yeah. But I couldn't remember exactly like why. What's her beef with? Is it just was there something there that I'd forgotten about, or was it just a general sort of she's a hot mess and everyone should just stay away from her because of her reputation and her mother's?
I believe that would probably be it.
Yeah, I was
I
just trying to
can't
think
think
because it
of
was such
any other.
a loaded statement to come from her. I was just like,
Well, because
whoa,
I
like
mean, Mickey was so loving towards Liana,
yeah. So for the
so
sister to just be all, it was a bit of a. I was just like, whoa, okay, wait, did I miss something?
maybe because of the mother's reputation, Janice's
Maybe.
reputation.
Yeah. Well, either way, danger to society. It's like, geez.
Yeah, no kidding. I
Yeah.
mean, unless it's just that because she shot a cop and she said she was
Yeah.
unmedicated.
Maybe.
Who knows? It
Maybe.
could
Because
have
she
been
did say she had overheard their conversation, which is just
right.
like, you're like the anti Mickey lady.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not being very nice to the people that come into that little pub.
Yeah. Um, and then we kind of get just a brief scene with Lex and Arthur. Arthur's like, "You
Yeah.
got to catch me up on it." Um, but
Arthur,
before
I
that,
just feel like he's so out of the loop sometimes. He just kind of like
yeah,
comes in. He's just like, "What's going on? How can I help?" And then everyone's just kind of like, "You can just go. It's
yeah,
okay."
exactly. But
Like
I did like how Sarah's mother, I forget her name, um,
Melody. Yeah.
Melody, she
Yeah.
calls, calls Sophia over and is like,
Yep.
"Listen, I appreciate everything you've done. You've had these visions and thoughts and everything. I need more." And then
Yeah.
Riley kind of feels guilty and says, "I might have something, one of those, sheepish kind
Yeah.
of, you might have to listen to this, or I have something you might need
Mm-mm.
to know,
Yep.
and it's just, I liked it. I just felt it was just really out of place for Riley to even keep that kind of a secret. Like, I
Yeah. It
thought it
felt
was
a little more plotty than character for her.
for her,
Because it's like because Adam, it's like it's not as if they had like some deep, meaningful connection
at
prior to
least they
his
never
asking
fleshed
her to
that
do
out.
this.
Right.
You know, like it's a little contrived, but I did appreciate her just kind of seeing the way having the whole melody break down or whatever triggering her to go and because
Yeah.
you see that photo like the red the stoplight surveillance
Yep.
photo and it's clear as day that Adam is clearly involved with everything that's going on with Sarah. So
Yep. And then that's when Riley and Sophia walk in, and Sophia's like, Riley has something she has to tell you.
yeah.
And she's
And
like,
I
can you
loved
tell me?
yeah, I did love though how like because the whole history, you got the mayor and Melody and Sophia and that whole thing, and but Sophia going over and comforting Melody and just giving her, it's like oh, you know,
Yeah.
in the wake of everything, it's like
Oh, yeah. Because some
no,
adults
very
can actually get along like that.
right, and it's like obviously it's like a lot of water has gone under the bridge since
Oh, yeah.
all of that shook out, and obviously they're in a moment of crisis as
Yes.
family and everything like that too. But still, it was just a nice little moment. And you just
Yeah,
makes
exactly.
you miss it. Seeing Sophia though, seeing her, or it just
It
makes you
does.
miss Jackie
Did
Zeman
you
all the
get a
more.
chance to watch the Jackie Zeman Memorial on the Bay?
I haven't watched it yet. I'm kind of
No, I haven't either.
yeah,
It's going to have to wait for it to become on demand for me for
yeah,
season 9. But
yeah.
the Bay did do a Sophia Madison, Jackie Zeman memorial episode. Um, that aired. I want to say it aired a couple weeks ago. I don't know for sure
I
because of
believe
what
so.
pop
Yeah,
stars, scheduling is.
schedule and everything. Yeah, I believe it was a couple weeks ago though, and no, I haven't had the chance to watch that just yet. But I know it's going to be a heartbreaker once I actually do.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Get the Kleenex ready. Um,
Yeah,
but either way, do we hit everything? Did we
I
miss
think
anything?
we did. I think we did. Yeah, I can't really unless there's any like little just random moments, but no, I think we covered everything.
I liked how Melody's housekeeper comes up and sees
Oh
Sophia.
yeah, I did make a note of
Like,
that.
could
He's got
you
this big
do
smile
you
on his
want any
face trying
breakfast?
to
Should I
give him
make the breakfast?
breakfast.
Yeah, and she's like,
And
no, we need to get down to business.
and his whole face falls. Like that actor just had like that one little moment, but he does it so well. He's just like his whole face falls and he just like kind
Yeah,
of backs away slowly. And oh, yeah, he's like Mortimer Jr.
yeah. But
Yeah.
that was a cute episode. That was a cute
That was. I forgot.
scene.
I had made a note of that. No, just a little moment with the housekeeper. That would be kind of a funny episode for them to do if they like had like all like the housekeepers, the assistants, the folks that are just kind of on the sidelines, like
Yeah,
sitting around and just kind of observing, or an episode just kind of focused on them and they're reacting to everything that's happening and like Bay City craziness. Like she didn't want her breakfast.
so
And his whole day just spirals from that.
yeah, so you'll never. My wife and I have been rewatching Fuller House,
Yes.
and you'll never guess who we saw on one of the episodes playing a mayor,
Who?
Big
Who?
Candy, uh,
Oh my gosh,
Was it
really?
Kim Whitley? Um,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, she plays the mayor in one of the season 3 episodes.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, no Candy. Oof. She's, great character. It was funny. I was actually going through just on YouTube and I came across just, and I don't know, the algorithm or something like that. It was showing me like the Emmy reels, like the submissions that a
Yeah,
bunch of actors did for the Bay. And it was I think it was Patsy Pease had hers was there for like best supporting, Mary
uh
Beth
huh,
Evans, all of that. But it was like rewatching. I went through and just clicked through some of them, and it was mostly like the prison scenes that were submitted
yeah,
for like a lot of those like Emmy submissions and things like that. And you just forget how intense and how crazy those scenes were and how well done they were and everything.
oh
But
yeah,
going back and even just seeing a little snippet, and
yeah,
yeah, no, she was a big part of that. Big
yeah.
Candy.
All
But I
right,
did love
well,
how they brought her back in that Valentine's tribute to
I
kind
do
of,
too. I thought that was, and they made it seem like it was an interview
yeah,
for a company owned by
a little
Sarah.
continuity with her story, which I
Yeah,
appreciated. So, but
but
yeah, no, I think we did cover everything though for this episode in particular. And
absolutely. We did.
we don't have too many more this season, right? We're
We're
on
on
which one
episode
are we in?
8 of season
Yeah,
4. I think it's 12 or 15. We might be at the midpoint.
I thought it was 12, but even so, yeah, we're moving right along. So,
Yeah. But again, we want to thank you all for watching. For those of you who are who want everything early, as you can tell, this is pre-recorded. So if you want it early and ad-free, go over to Patreon and sign up. It's just $5 a month, and it does help our show. Um, and that's patreon.com/suds and squared circle. You get all of our pre-recorded shows early and ad-free over there. If you subscribe to YouTube, go ahead and or if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and like the video. It helps with our algorithm. And leave a comment or react to a comment, either way. But you'll see an ad. You'll see ads. We do have 2 ads currently for our network. We do have the WWE Shop ad because we're an official affiliate of WWE Shop, but also a new advertiser just came on, and that's for a relationship and sex coach, Coach Lori. So that's also in there. So I want to thank our sponsors, and but if you want to avoid those ads, go over to Patreon, patreon.com/suds and squared circle, and you can go ahead and sign up. It's just $5 a month. Or if you just want to go ahead and donate to the network to help us out for what we do, as mentioned on Suds News last night, Angela and I are going to a meet and greet with Finola Hughes, Charles Major, and Laura Wright in April. We're going to be presenting Laura Wright with a Lifetime Achievement Championship title belt. So we would if you want to help donate to that, go to buymeacoffee.com/Suds Media, and you can donate that way. And if you do donate, your name will go into the thank you card that we give to her with the Lifetime Achievement Championship. So go ahead and help us out that way. Buymeacoffee.com/Suds Media. I think that's about it for the church announcements. So, Kim, where can everybody find you?
Well, I am still best located on Twitter/X. Misfit 8690 is my profile there. So yeah, feel free to message and reach out to me there. But yeah, no,
You
looking
haven't
forward
moved over
to.
to Blue Sky yet?
I don't know. Change is tough for me, Vinny.
I agree. No, I agree. I have a Suds and Squared Circle Suds Media page over there, but in terms of my personal stuff, I'm okay with Twix. So,
Yeah.
uh, but that's about it for today, folks. Hope you enjoyed the show. Next week, we'll be back talking about season 4, episode 9 of the Emmy Award winning web series, the 23-time Emmy winning web series, The Bay. So we'll see you next week, Dockside at The Bay. Have a great week, everybody.
Have a great week.